Smackdown, Smackdown. What do you have to say about Smackdown tonight? As in regard to this show, 48 hours after Clash of Champions, as we kicked off the show with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan came out, but he wanted to address first, pretty much plugging the Women's Royal Rumble from last night. And as he talked about that, he went on to say the main event for tonight's show was Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Jinder Mahal versus AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Pretty much the same match from Tribute to the Troops last week, I believe. And as Daniel Bryan was still talking, Shane McMahon came out and said hello to the crowd and everything in Newark, New Jersey. They were tonight. And, let's talk about Clash of Champions and how Shane said he painted a picture, pretty much Randy Orton hitting the most beautiful RKO that he has ever seen. The greatest RKO almost. And it was almost there until someone broke the count and that Daniel Bryan pretty much tripped over him and stuff. And yeah, it was an accident once they pretty much knew about it, but he pretty much talked about Daniel Bryan's fast count and he wanted to explain himself, and pretty much Bryan wanted Shane to explain himself. As Bryan said, he's trying to protect Shane from himself. He may be passionate for Team Blue and Team Smackdown, but he feels like he's losing it in a way. Shane McMahon pretty much then went on to say that, he doesn't need protection with all due respect, but Bryan did say he needed it because once again, he's a hothead in a way, and he talked about the land of opportunity, our vision and everything. And Bryan pretty much went on to say, tell Shane that this is the land of opportunity that we created, and pretty much this is what we're here to do. Anything here to do. But Shane McMahon says, yes, I may have, gone a little too far, but Shane McMahon went on to say Kevin Owens had butted his dad. Sami Zayn saving Kevin Owens to Hell in a Cell after he jumped off of it, and both Owens and Zayn screwing over SmackDown at Survivor Series. And pretty much Shane McMahon warned them, you may be empathetic towards them now, but they're gonna pull you like a puppet, and soon enough they'll stab you in the back, okay? And he understands why, have empathy for him, and he pretty much says from a business perspective, do not show favoritism. And then Daniel Bryan pretty much says, you look like you're becoming your own dad, pretty much, saying best for business. And since he says, he's becoming Mr. McMahon, Shane looked at him and he felt like Shane was losing the vision of SmackDown. And Shane pretty much looked at him and he says, you know what? I trust you. And you know what? I'm going to wish you the best and good luck with the rest of the show. So he's running the show tonight, Bryan. So looking at this segment, yesterday is a slow burn, of course. Even though I believe they are turning Daniel Bryan heel, but it's kind of hard to say that he really is a heel when the people continue to cheer him, and even the fans went on to say who's your daddy and thank you Bryan for saving Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So they went on to say that, but pretty much he really did go at Shane with the whole best for business line and stuff. So yeah, the thing is this: who really turns heel though in this whole thing? Does Shane McMahon go heel, even though he pretty much had Randy Orton and Shinsuke as a face to go against a heel Owens and Zayn, as Daniel Bryan is the face? Because I really do believe they're going to turn Daniel Bryan heel. And maybe I'm just taking a far reach at that, but then again, it's impossible to turn him heel. The fans love him. The only logical choice is really for Shane McMahon to go heel. But in my mind, I feel like they're turning Bryan heel more than Shane. And almost he's going to overthrow Shane, and he's going to take over the show completely. So we'll see where that goes. But as of right now, this is the mostly the mostly the really most interesting thing on SmackDown right now, which I feel like we see these two kick off the show every single week. Next was the Usos going against Gable and Benjamin, which was a good match. I will say that after having last Sunday at the Clash of Champions and the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. This was good. Gable and Benjamin actually picking up the win over the Usos after hitting that Chaos Theory suplex Gable does, and then that power bomb pretty much finish that Gable jumps off, pretty much supporting the power bomb. I don't remember the name of the finish of it, the finisher, but But it was a good match, though. Pretty much making Gable and Benjamin at least look like legitimate contenders for the tag team championships. Sorry, I was checking something on the phone real quick. But yeah, like I said, pretty much making them legitimate contenders for the tag team championships, though. So maybe they'll actually get their 2-on-2 shot this time instead of having a fatal 4-way just because they really were the number one contenders for the tag team titles in the begin with. But hey, the tag team division can go either way. At least I'll give the SmackDown tag team division this. The SmackDown tag team division is strong. Monday Night Raw, you only have the Shield and the Bar most of the time. Because yeah, you mostly pretty much have those guys. Even though the Revival came back, I just feel like we see the Shield versus the Bar every weekend. By the way, Dean Ambrose is legitimately injured too. Next was Charlotte coming out, pretty much talking about the Women's Royal Rumble, and they played all this stuff in the back, which I just feel like this is a PR type thing anyways, just to push some whatever business agenda in the back. Like I said, this whole Rumble feels forced, especially after that segment last night. Everything about this felt forced. I'm not saying the match will be bad or anything. Well, a match could be bad, but it's not a bad idea. But the way it was done and executed from last night, it just looks like this was forced, and this was some corporate PR move in the back end for Stephanie McMahon to put herself over. Pretty much Charlotte, as they played that video of all the women talking in the back, and even showing legends from Trish and Beth Phoenix and Lita on Twitter. Charlotte pretty much had a mic and talked about the video package and how the SmackDown Women's, pretty much somebody will get a chance to face the champion at WrestleMania. So any of those women back there get a chance to face me for the title. So, Charlotte said what she said about the Rumble pretty much, but like I said, it just feels so forced. It just feels like some business agenda. It's like, even I'm sitting there wondering, will there be a women's elimination chamber next? Even I'm kind of sitting there like, I don't know. Because, like I said in last night's video, Money in the Bank was good. Hell in a Cell, I said it was bad, maybe because there was a lot of botchiness in those table spots. I just don't think it should have been the main event. Like I said, Sasha and Charlotte are great when they did a lot of matches, but in that match, I just don't think it should have been the main event. Naomi then came out, talked about she put herself as in the SmackDown, on SmackDown in the Women's Royal Rumble herself, and I'll be seeing you at WrestleMania. Charlotte was like, okay then. The Riot Squad then came out, and Naomi pretty much talked about, this is every woman for themselves, so you're not gonna jump anybody around here. And she called them chicken heads, which actually got a chicken head chant. That was actually surprising to see that people actually chanted a chicken head. So I thought it was kind of funny, and even Naomi had to laugh at that. Pretty much her and Charlotte went against the Riot Squad, Riot and Logan, which they pretty much lost, Riot and Logan, after Naomi at the rear view. I'm like, so far for this whole dominant team, which I just felt like they threw these women together in the begin with. So They pretty much made the Riot Squad look like idiots out there. Like, I feel like WWE doesn't even know what to do with them ever since they brought them up. So they're not even that powerful of a squad anymore to begin with now. Well, they were for a minute, but now they're just not even dominant anymore. It's just like they had no ideas for them once they called them up. So they really got nothing for them to do. I didn't think they would lose already. Like, that was kind of quick. Yeah, they looked dominant for a couple of weeks, but now it just kind of like they're just random women on the show. And that's the same thing with Paige's group. Paige's group looks bad as it is anyways. That's not already kind of failed after last week. So I don't know. I feel like they just brought these women up anyways, just so they can throw them in the Rumble. That's the only reason why. They just threw them all together so we can throw them in the Rumble. Rusev and English were in the back as New Day was out there giving out pancakes to everybody, spreading holiday cheer. But Rusev says it was Rusev Day, and he gave out Rusev shirts. So that was going to go down. Now here's the most interesting part of the night. Dolph Ziggler, who came out with the whole cutout music and talked about the people, saying I didn't belong in the title match. For now I've proved you all that I am the champion now, and you know, I don't need to have an elaborate entrance or anything, or being the most charismatic guy. I'm just that great. And then Dolph Ziggler showed about all his accomplishments in the WWE. From being a two-time U.S. champion, he won back in 2011 at Capital Punishment against Kofi Kingston, including the one from a couple days ago, a 5-time Intercontinental Champion. I believe what was the first one? Was it in 2013? Or was it 2011? I think it was. And I know most of the others were like in 2014 at that point, because he had won it on Raw, he won it at TLC, he won it at I'm trying to remember what other pay-per-view it was. I know the one from No Mercy from about last year. I feel like I'm forgetting one because he really won that back like a whole bunch of times in 2014, like very quick. Like, especially after that whole Authority, Survivor Series thing, he just got the belt back like several times. But he was a 5-time Intercontinental Champion. He won with SummerSlam also. And then he talked about the Money in the Bank, and then the whole cash in from 2013, which was the biggest night after WrestleMania when he cashed it in. And he called himself one of the most decorated stars in WWE history, and he's proved himself, to everyone that he is the best, and yet he feels unappreciated. And crowds don't deserve him. You don't deserve me. And they want something to remember him by. And then he pretty much put the U.S. title on the ground and he walked away. Now this is interesting. He left the belt there. Okay. Now, did he just relinquish the title? Did he just quit? Did he just leave the company? I hope he did. Because looking at this whole thing now, did he even resign with WWE? Okay, that's the reason why I think he had this belt in the beginning, because I feel like he resigned. So that's why he's the champion. It's either that, or what did they do in silence? Say, hey, you can get this last title before you walk out of here. So I don't know where this goes with the U.S. Championship. Did he relinquish it? I don't know if this is a farewell or not. Maybe it's not, and maybe I'm wrong. Because I'm sure a lot of people, and it's, I thought it funny when people were chanting, you deserve it, when he came out. Like, he hasn't done that much over the whole year, and most of the time he lost. And this whole heel turn has been, I don't know, at a point in time. So, I don't know where to go with Ziggler. I don't know where Ziggler goes from here. If he really left, then I'm sure people are really now hoping he goes to Ring of Honor, New Japan, Bullet Club, maybe even Impact. We never know where he can go. And I'm sure people want him to go to Indies and revitalize himself, because I just think people have lost interest in him in WWE for a while now, and they do not care at this point, and they rather see him in a new change of scenery. We know he's got the talent. It's just creative has screwed this guy several times, is that you just pretty much want to see this guy gone. So I don't know where we go with Ziggler from this in this promo, because like, if he's giving up the title, then what was the point in him winning on Sunday? So I don't know. I don't know where this goes. But I guess we'll have to find out next week then. But hey, maybe he re-signed with the company. Maybe he didn't re-sign. I'm sure a whole lot of people hope he didn't re-sign, but we'll find out. Pretty much Daniel Bryan was in his office then next as Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens came in, and they pretty much told him, real reason why he took out screwed over Randy Orton, because the Authority took your title back in 2013 and everything, and you got the last laugh on him, and they pretty much brought a bottle of champagne in, and pretty much as they gloated, Bryan told you need to take those smiles off your face, that's why I fire you myself, so go get ready for your match. The New Day came out in Christmas gear, which it was Rusev in English versus both Kofi and Xavier Woods, as they wore reindeer costumes. There was Rusev Day chants, but I think the funny thing was the pancake spot, as in the whipped cream, the cherry, and Aiden English going into the pancake stand, and Kofi pretty much hitting that giant fall from the top rope, and pretty much after that they threw English back in. Xavier Woods hit the, forget what that move is called, he jumps off the rope and does an elbow drop, but I'll just say that, and he won the match. So it was a fun match, just for a lot of holiday stuff. They pretty much did the same thing back on Halloween when you look at it, because the New Day had a whole bunch of costumes on, Rusev and English called them out, and they pretty much set that up. But this is probably setting up a tag team feud. At least it gets the New Day away from the titles and something to do. But hey, Rusev Day is over. Get a Rusev Day shirt. Main event time: Nakamura, Orton, and AJ Styles versus Jinder, Kevin, and Sami. Not much to say here. Basic kind of 6-man tag. Send the crowd home happy. Same brothers get involved. They get the crap beaten out of them. Jinder pretty much gets RKO'd. Owens gets a phenomenal forearm. Shinsuke hits the Kinshasa. Match over, won. And they pretty much celebrate after that. So pretty much a 6-man tag to send the crowd home happy. It's not much to say from this show, really. It wasn't a lot going on other than the whole Ziggler thing, which is very mysterious. The Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan, and I guess maybe the Women's Royal Rumble, but we can't already establish that yesterday. But yeah, did Ziggler give up the title? What did Dolph Ziggler do with the belt? I think that's the question now. Is he still in the company? Is he out the company? We don't know. And we'll see where this still goes with Daniel and Shane McMahon, as I feel like we kick off the show with these two almost every week now. So we'll see what goes on from there. Who is AJ Styles' next opponent? I don't know. Let's hope the Jinder thing is over, though. But we'll see then. But comment, subscribe to the channel. I'm out of here. Hope you enjoyed this review of Smackdown. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Make sure you check out the Raw review and Clash of Champions live reactions and review. Peace out.